Hello, everybody. Welcome to Road to Endgame, a Marvel movie podcast. My name is Bronson, and I am joined by
Stephanie!
Watkins.
Wick!
Um,
Only I am allowed to fuck up my name! Everyone does it, so the rule doesn't stand. Clearly.
So this week we are reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy. For those of you who don't know what this is, we review 1 to 2 Marvel movies a week, leading up to the release of Marvel Endgame. Captain Marvel just came out this week. We'll be reviewing that one next week, along with the Ant-Man.
The Ant-Man?
The Ant-Man! He's a tiny little man who becomes a very big man.
He was tiny like an ant?
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So this movie, I want a little context for this movie. So this movie, everyone knows Guardians of the Galaxy now is a huge property. It's one of the biggest, most popular Marvel things. Period. That is all because of this movie. Let's get that clear. Like prior to this movie's existence, even hardcore comic book fans would be hard-pressed to know who the fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy were. I remember when I first heard they were making a movie about it, I was like, isn't that the one with the talking raccoon?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Like, I'm just like, oh, that's the one with Rocket Raccoon from Marvel 3, right? Like, right, yeah, I think
Honestly,
that's it.
It's so disassociated with our norm for our Avengers lineup. Because they're supposed to be, like, the galaxy's end of that group. So, like,
it was our first introduction to Cosmic Marvel.
yeah, and the closest we got was Tony Stark getting super scared of freaking space.
Right, and then, like, a little bit of the Thor stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, this is, like, our first, like, broader view of the galaxy, like,
Thor didn't even make it seem like it was a part of the galaxy. It still made it seem like it was a part of another realm, even though we find out that it's a part of the galaxy.
Right, and find out it's just space. It's part of space.
Exactly. Don't rub up against the table.
Yeah. But no, so, like, I wanted to point that out, because, like, a lot of people nowadays, like, think Guardians is just, like, big established Marvel property.
It wasn't before!
It definitely was not. Like, once again, I was a comic book guy. I read comics, a lot of comics. And I once again heard that announcement of, like, they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I'm like, oh, with the raccoon thing.
I personally grew up with Tim Burton's Batman series.
So, yeah. Like, my closest relation to Guardians of the Galaxy, like I said, was Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I'm like, oh, that's the one with the talking raccoon with the guns and the tree, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was my, like, and I heard them, and I remember the summer the movie came out, I was going to hold off. And, like, it did so well. Just people, like, everyone I knew was, like, going, I am Groot, and talking about different, and I'm just like, fine, I'll go see this movie. And it ended up being my favorite Marvel movie for a very, 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 very long time.
What I think okay, so when I first watched it versus when I rewatched it.
Yeah, because you just were A to B, right? This is not like this is your second time watching.
Yeah,
this
is this is only my second time watching it.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I definitely have a different perspective. So when I first watched it, when the movie opens up and it's about this little kid losing his mom, I was like, oh shit, we're gonna explore this, and then he's going to become Star-Lord, and like, I was so awed by the fact that it goes into space and he's starting to fight bad guys and all this other stuff, when it turns out they might not be the bad guys, but then it turns around like they are the bad guys. Because he's a thief. So I mean, like, we didn't know until they revealed themselves to be universe destroyers.
The thing that I loved about this movie, basically everything after so you have the abduction, so you know Peter's origin, which is it's short, sweet, to the point.
Well, that's my issue. So that's the point I was trying to get to. was that it actually makes me feel lacking. Makes me feel like it's lacking because there's no growing up or anything. He just is, and then we throw in some of his backstory. I mean, I know it's Guardians of the Galaxy, but we don't really put in a backstory for anybody else other than Quill.
Well, no, everyone. Well, I was actually going to say everyone gets their backstory really, except for and some are longer than others. Like Drax and Gamora get a lot more than Groot and Rocket do. But I'll get to that. So we get that brief moment of like, here's why Peter is in space, so we can explain that.
Okay.
And then everything from then until the prison break is characters is making these characters and fleshing them out, not through just dialogue, but through actions. And if you've ever taken any writing classes ever, you know that when you're writing for film or games or television, you want to show, don't tell. And
yeah, that's true, but we didn't have any like flashes of anybody's past except for Quill's, and even then we got to lick. We got to smell the whipped cream on that milkshake, and then it got whipped away from us.
But you still get pieces of who he is, and then you fill in those blanks. So, like, for example, like, it's just like, you might know me as another name. Star-Lord. Who?
Oh,
come on, man.
Star-Lord?
So you know that, like, okay, he's kind of a thief. He's kind of a wacky dude.
And he wants to be well known in the universe.
Yeah, and like even later, it's just like it's not weird to have a code name, pal.
Right? Yeah. No, like freaking what was the actor that said that liked him?
I just know him as the guy from all this.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah, the guy from Will Ferrell movies.
He had his own movie. It was Walk Hard. And it was a beautiful freaking.
It was a great flick.
I can smell shit. It smells terrible. Just side note on that. John C. Reilly is a beautiful man.
But no, I want to break down like everything from after his abduction
Yeah.
to when they're in the prison is like you get that first scene of Star-Lord where he's dancing and like the music cues in and he's like using the rat as a microphone.
Yes, that was awesome.
And like just it's like, oh, this is who this guy is.
Yeah, because he's listening to the same like music essentially that like
from his mother gave him.
Yeah.
And then you have that quick action scene, which the reason that is in there is to break up the pace and make it like, okay, we're not doing all character stuff. This is a sci-fi movie. Here's a really good action set piece.
It's definitely okay. So it goes slow, fast. Like it goes fast every time there's a transition. I really enjoy that. I like that it's not jarring. It is very it's very natural feeling.
One thing that I noticed about this movie is it follows 3-act structure perfectly. And not only does it follow 3-act structure perfectly, just everything about it is so well paced. In film, in particular, pacing is so important.
Oh yeah.
Because here's the thing, pacing in video games is important. Like we work at a gaming website. However, the thing is about when pacing in a video game is fucked, you can at least save, come back to it later, and be like, okay, let's get through this rough part and go back to having fun times. Versus like in a movie, like if the pacing is bad enough, you might just turn it off and never come back.
Or you might just watch it very confused, not trying to freaking think about it ever again.
Yeah, exactly. Cough, cough, Batman v Superman.
No, I understood everything. It was just stupid. No. Something that I didn't want to come back to, like, ever again, except for maybe the puns that were all the way through it, was, like, the Justice League movie.
I still have not seen it.
You'll only like it for the puns.
I'm waiting for it to get on some service for free, and they keep wanting to make me pay for it, and I'm like, no,
I'm good, fam.
Like, if I could get that, like, in a Blu-ray sale on Black Friday for, like, $4, I'd probably jump on it.
Right.
That's how I got Wonder Woman. But no, so, like, and then in that opening scene, like, you get a little bit of Groot and, Rocket's thing. Okay, like, there's, like, okay, Rocket hates people. He's a mercenary. Groot is his fucking companion, and he's a little unruly. Okay, boom. Quick characterization. You fill in the blanks from there, and the movie will fill in some more blanks later. And then same thing with Gamora. Like, okay, daughter of Thanos, mercenary, check, got it. All right, now
also super hot.
Yes, dude. No, Dominican Bay.
Like when she was eating, like, and just like about to jump, like about to steal from Quill. Like I was legit just like, can you eat me?
Dominican Bay, yo.
So yes. Also, when he okay, so like I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but when he takes his shirt off and reveals that Andy has turned into a freaking chiseled god.
I want to know who his trainer is. I know who that man's trainer is.
He trained mostly by himself.
I need to know who devised his workout regimen.
Yeah, no, of course.
Because
like he went from Andy to Damn.
You do not get that without a very specific workout regimen.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just I loved him when he was Andy, and I love him when he's Star-Lord and freaking the dude from Jurassic World, and just he's just a whole package of awesome, and he never loses himself in anything.
Yeah. Also,
he's always himself.
Also, he's fairly tall. Fun fact. He's 6'2".
Well, he is not married anymore, so
Stephanie, get out there.
I'm gonna get that.
Get your Star-Lord, girl.
I'm gonna get me some Andy ass.
Get you your Star-Lord.
But yeah, no, very, very beautiful cast, as you have heard from us.
But no, so you have that big fight scene, and it shows you some of their abilities, it shows you the way they fight, it sets up more stuff, and then it transitions into the prison lineup, right?
And it gives you quick, brief, short, sweet, to the point background. Which
is, one, brilliant, because they don't have to have this big exposition scene of like, this is who this is with all their background and flash cuts. Just, no, fucking horrible experiment. Tree Man. Daughter of Thanos, priority target, horrible person. Star-Lord, thief for the Ravagers. Yeah. You know, just as very smart, like, because as much as I like origin movies, we just saw one this weekend.
Which, that has a huge gap in it, which actually pushed it down to a 4 for me. So we'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's next week.
Yeah.
We just watched an origin story, and we've been watching a lot of origin stories because of this whole thing. And the thing that just kills me is just, like, so much sandbagging. Because they have to build up who they are.
Yeah.
But in this case, because you haven't done, like, it's a team, you can't do that because the movie would be 4 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Not that we wouldn't love a 4-hour-long Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Right.
It was very, like, they are just so fun. It doesn't get too serious. And even if it does, they do something epic to try to steer you away from crying.
so they have this moment where, like, all right, so it's in the prison. They give a cut of everyone. Not only does it build character, it's also super funny. The Star-Lord flipping him off, Raccoon giving sass, like, it's super funny. And then you get in the prison itself, and it's, once again, more character building. The entire movie, if you look at it the entire way through and you're really looking at it, every scene is either building character or something directly to the plot.
Or like revealing character, really.
Yeah, like it's either revealing character, building character, or plot related.
Because it really revealed a side of Quinn that you don't normally get to see. Mm-hmm. Like, they do reveal it at times. But most of the time, he is a quick individual that just tries to be fun-loving and just screw everything.
but he really does love certain things or people.
But no, like, just like his mom. I mean,
like that scene, just like, that should be an impound!
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, when they first come in, actually, even before that, was it before or after when they got into that orange shower?
That was before.
Before?
They do the orange shower and they get on the jumpsuits, and as they're walking by, they see that dude listening to music play. He's like,
okay.
"Yay, that's mine!"
So the orange. Okay, so the orange shower.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that revealed?
What?
It revealed more of Rocket's past because you get to see his back and how it's all like, you know, that it's just patchy fur with all this like mechanical stuff.
Mm-hmm. And once again, going back to the earlier thing I've said, show don't tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and it actually showed like Quill's compassion at the same time shock and awe. Like, oh my god, I can see why you hate humans. Like in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So he switches gears, and instead of like calling him a rat or whatever, like after that he starts listening to him more. If you notice, it's a slight change, but if you notice that one little scene, then it actually made a huge impact on Quill's view towards Rocket.
Okay. Yeah, no, I actually did notice that a little bit, especially the back in particular, because once again, the movie's very smart. It doesn't put focus on something unless it matters, and that's one that the thing about a lot of these movies, and I loved most of these so far. Most of these have been 3 out of 5s or higher. There are only 2 that aren't, and I've liked all of them. It has generally been the fact that even the best ones have some shit that's like, this feels kind of fillery. This feels kind of like padding. This feels kind of like everything in this movie matters in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Like, and they don't, like, if they're doing a direct camera cut to something, it is because they want you to notice something.
Right.
Like,
I just liked every transition that they made, because like I said before, it's well paced. It feels natural, not rushed at all, even if it is a fast like scene transition. It's just, it feels good.
And notice, Rocket does notice this because when they're in the prison and, like, that big dude comes up to him and, like, Groot, he's like, I want everyone to know this one's our booty. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh, okay, they're gonna keep an eye out for him at least. You know, and you get that whole prison scene, and then you see Star-Lord cares about Gamora even though she's trying to murder him.
Yeah.
Because, like, he saves her from Drax.
And Drax was revealed as they were brought into the prison. He sees her, and everyone starts really harping on her because she is the daughter of Thanos, destroyer of worlds.
The Mad Titan. Yep.
Yeah. So he, and then we get into Drax's backstory, which this actor delivers such emotion in such little words. And then, you know, he's so blunt and honest that it's also funny.
Just so funny.
So funny.
Nothing goes over my head. I have reflexes that would catch it. Just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just the you know,
the one thing I don't understand are Rocket's jokes.
What do you mean?
Like, oh my god, I can't believe you got the leg. I didn't need the leg. like, what did his face look like when you took it from him? Like, why the hell is that funny?
I don't know, it'd be pretty funny to see him hopping around without a leg.
And there's the Rocket fan. Like, right there. No, I think it's quirky, but there's not really, like, a reason behind it.
It's just like, oh, I didn't need the leg. Like, that was a good joke. That was a good gag.
And they actually, like, I like how they come back to that in Infinity War.
I like how they come back to it later in the movie. It's like, I need that guy's eye. No, we don't need the eye. We don't need the eye.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a perfect example of how good this movie is the fact that we saw it a week ago, and we can still remember almost every part of it.
Oh, it's because it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Plus, this is the first movie where we have a grand color scheme. Oh my goodness. It sticks in your mind just because of the color palette.
Also, it was nice to see this is the first movie where we get a lot of Thanos. Or, like, more than just, like, a cut or a notice or like,
a smile.
Or, like, 3 seconds of footage. Yeah. Like, you know, like, it's the first one where you get Thanos, like, talking with Ronan. And, like, you get a little bit of taste of Thanos. And that was really cool.
When I first watched the movie, I thought Ronan was one of Thanos' kids, and he was just like rebelling. Like, because it made sense.
It does.
All of his children rebel. But no, I feel like that would have been like an interesting like plot point, because it's just like Thanos has kids everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's not, unfortunately. Sorry, childhood me.
So yeah, I thought that was a cool thing. So more of the prison, they do the breakout. You get a really good character moment during the breakout where they get on the ship, but Peter's like, no, I gotta go grab something real quick. And like, he's going through there beating the shit out of everyone, and he steals the fucking headphones back.
The Walkman.
Yeah, and the Walkman, and he comes like, what were you going to achieve? And like, guess what? Just like, truly a mighty warrior. What were you going to retrieve, my friend? And he shows him the Walkman. Just, you're an imbecile.
Yeah.
Like,
no, but it's just like, if he knew what it meant at the time, he'd be like, yeah, no, he would stand by that first statement, because like Drax is all about honor and memories
and family.
Like, and family. And so he would have totally respected him more in that instance.
But like, in that moment though, that was a great joke. Just, you are an imbecile.
Yes. Yeah. No, 'cause in that moment, it's just like you went back for your music. Are you serious?
And then once again, more soundtracked. I like Pina Coladas. On the transition to Nowhere, when they go to the collector, they're playing fucking David Bowie.
I just want to like, I just want to come back really quick from that transition and notice how like, okay, so Rocket seems like a huge freaking like just big mouth. Okay, it seems like he's all talk, no freaking swag, nothing to show for it, and then that gravity scene where he is able to control the gravity everywhere, but inside there, like perfectly executed escape.
I mean, the thing about
it shows how brilliant he actually is, and he can actually back up every single word that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, like there's a reason why Rocket's so confident. It's because like 9 times out of 10, like he's very Batman, Tony Stark-esque in that way. It's like, you give him the supplies, he can make you something fucking amazing.
More Tony Stark than Batman.
Yeah, but still, like in the way that, like, give him a box of, supplies, he'll make you something badass.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, so they transition to Nowhere, which, one, great transition, Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie, A+ music choice. And they have that whole scene where, Gamora's getting sweet on Quill. I was just like,
in an instant, yes, but in the very next instant, she's just like, do not trick me with your magic.
I've heard of you, Peter Quill, and how how he's banging all these chicks.
Yeah.
In fact, that's another scene from the opening of the movie.
And she thinks he has magic because like he beds all these women, and she's starting to fall for him genuinely, which like he just wants somebody to love. Most of the time, though, he just wants an easy life.
Well, I mean, you saw that with that one girl at the very beginning of the movie who was still in the job. I was like, honestly, I forgot you were here.
No, and she was just like, okay. like she was just along for the ride, man, and he brought her back home.
Yeah, and then like you'd see Drax and Rocket and everyone gambling.
We forgot that they introduced Yondu.
They do. They did
Yondu in the beginning.
Yeah, they did Yondu, where it's just like don't you turn your back on me, boy. And then they go to he issues out a bounty, which is why
Rocket is after him in the first place.
And then also the fact that then not only is Rocket after him in the first place, you have the God, what's it called? Rocket's after him in the first place, but you also have you get characterization for Yondu, because Yondu could have just murdered him, but you can see Yondu like genuinely likes Peter.
Yeah, and he just wants him to like not screw him over.
Yeah.
So like don't like it's pretty much him looking at Quill going, "Do not give me a reason to hurt you. I have to show my men that, like, I am a strong person that shouldn't be crossed.
Right, and you get a lot more at the end of the film, and then also in the next movie.
If he had just revealed that he feels like Quill is more of a son, they wouldn't have thought that he was a pushover to some weakling human. They would have thought that he gives slack to his son.
I don't think so, because I think
I
that...
think so, because, like, the Ravagers are all about honor and family as well.
I don't necessarily think so, because you get to see them, like, on that in the second movie. But we'll get to the second movie in a couple weeks. But no, but still, you get that a little bit from Yondu, and you get to see his little magic fucking pencil thing.
I like it.
But they get to the collector base, and you get Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie playing.
Yes.
Good
transition. You
get that great scene with Gamora. Well, first off, you get that gambling scene where Groot and Drax and Rocket are having camaraderie and drinking and gambling.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the Gamora Quill scene where you're like, oh, this is really sweet. Once again, great music choice. What was it? It wasn't Come and Get Your Love. It was Fool Around and Fell in Love. That was it.
Okay.
Great song choice. That's all of this movie.
And that was good for, like, all these picks are good for the scenes in here. Like, it's really like his life.
Yeah.
His mom made him a good soundtrack.
Yeah, no, I adore this. Like, I listen to this movie soundtrack all the time. I have a playlist on my phone.
By the way, I tried listening through Captain Marvel's soundtrack, and it just, like, I can't.
Why not?
Like, I did it. It's just, I'm not into all the 90s music. I'm into older music if I'm going to listen to older music.
But the grunge!
No, like, those parts were nice. No, I'm talking about some of the
pop hits.
Yeah, some of the pop hits and some of the rap. Like, you know,
there's not much rap in that OST.
There actually is. They just picked the good parts of those rap.
Hold on. I'm gonna.
There's at least like 4.
There's You Gotta Be. There's Waterfalls.
Waterfalls isn't a rap song.
Okay, there's What a Man.
Kind of.
That's about it. The rest is grunge.
No, let me see. Sorry.
Everything from there is the original soundtrack.
Oh, okay. Oh, then I'm not listening to the right soundtrack. Yeah. Okay. Wow, I tortured myself for nothing. Yeah. Anyway, if you're listening to Guardians of the Galaxy, though, you're not torturing yourself for any reason.
No.
It is a beautiful time.
They got Guardians of the Galaxy, you got Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Suede, you got Go All the Way, Spirit in the Sky, Moon Age Daydream, I'm Not in Love, like, all fire. But no, so you have that scene with Gamora a lot, and then you cut back to, like, he called me an animal, like, you know, Rocket just, like, in tears.
He called me, like, a rat or something.
Like, he called me a rat or rodent or vermin or something.
Oh, I think it was vermin.
Yeah, I think it was vermin, and then, like, he's crying, and, like, Quill diffuses the situation, and they have their meeting with the Collector, in which you find out it's an Infinity Stone.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but Drax, like, wanders off and calls Ronan.
Because he's pissed off. Because
he wants, like, Ronan is the one that killed his family directly.
Yep. On behalf of Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, okay, I want a fucking piece of Ronan.
But no, the Collector, my sweet, sweet, weird man. I love the Collector. He gets goosebumps over anything, like, collectible. Ergo, the Collector. Like, he collects, like, Infinity Stones and memorabilia from across the galaxy.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah. He collects people and organisms and like, other species, and...
You kind of see how he's not to be fucked with, though, because, like, his first slave girl...
Yeah.
Then, like...
What I don't understand is he doesn't seem like the cruel type, so I wonder what she actually did to deserve that. I mean, their species seem like a very fun-loving, light, airy, like, breed, you know? And, like, I don't think that they're built for the work that he bought them for.
Yeah.
So, I just, like, I think that's why, because he bought slave girls to work, and, like, you could even see her, she was just sitting there when she was supposed to be cleaning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if she's supposed to be cleaning and she's just sitting there, clearly she's used to a life of luxury, a life of relaxation, and bought for the wrong purpose.
Alright, we're gonna not justify the collector's slavery.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm not justifying his slavery, I'm justifying his, like, supposed cruelty.
Anyway. Anyway,
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Wow. Okay then. Then you have the reveal of the Infinity Stone and what the stone's all about.
And what all the stones are about.
And Drax, like, you cannot let Ronan have this. He'll destroy the fucking planet and all other planets by just touching it.
Yes.
And then on top of that, Drax is calling Ronan there because he's pissed off at Quill and Groot and everyone for not going to just immediately go chase Ronan.
Well, the Collector's place gets blown to hell.
Because Slave Girl freaks out and grabs the stone and dies immediately.
Yeah.
And blows up the entire area. And then Ronan comes and there's this big action set piece. I think the part was like, they're indestructible, not those kind of lasers. Not what I meant. And they just use the ships as, like, wrecking balls.
Yes, that was a beautiful scene.
And then you have the ship piloting another ship.
I was so freaking out. I was just like, do you see this, Bronson? Do you see this? He's in a ship, and he's piloting another ship! Oh my god! Like, I was freaking out for like a hot minute over this, because I was just like, who thought of this beautiful ass scene?
And you have all this action, and then finally, Nebula gets the stone and takes off.
By the way, she's Gamora's sister, also working with Ronan. She's saying that she can get the stone back. She's trying to prove her dad right, even though it's clear that Gamora is his favorite.
Blowing up Gamora's ship and leaving her for dead, and Quill sees her out there with Rock, and Rock's like, these aren't meant to be out here. Like, dude, I have to go back. And then Quill's like, fuck. And he's like, Yondu! Here are my coordinates. You want me? Come and get me. Boom, 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 boom. And he goes out and he puts the mask on her, and as he's about to die, like, Yondu beams Gamora.
And that was definite character development, because he literally couldn't... He before, he could leave people for dead easy. And then in this moment, he sees her and he can't leave her.
Well, part of Peter Quill's character development across all these movies, and we'll focus on the first one, because we're going to go deep into it in Infinity War and in Guardians 2, is like...
Infinity War, oh my god, that boy fucked up.
He fucked up, but, like, I think people give him too hard of a time. And I'll go over that, I'll go over that once we get to Infinity War. But, so, the thing about him here is, though, is, like he is essentially a boy in a man's body at the beginning of this movie. Like, he primarily cares about himself, and he's still grieving over his mother and hasn't been, like, taught or learned to grieve properly, and doesn't really, and, like, has kind of a pseudo-family with the Ravengers.
Yeah.
Like, Yondu's kind of his family, and, like, that one Ravenger who's really redneck. But then the rest of them really aren't. You know?
Yeah.
And,
I just love the fact that, like, he expresses himself through sex to the point where he literally goes, if you take a blacklight to this place, it's like a Jackson Pollock painting. And even Rocket at that point is just like, what's wrong with you?
Oh, God.
So we see some real big character development when he not only acts like a man, but, like, saves her, like, putting his own life at risk. Because he didn't know how fast Yondu could make it there. He literally was, like, technically ready to die.
Yeah, exactly. And then so we have and then Groot, Rocket, and soon Drax are like, alright, what the fuck are we gonna do? And Rocket's like, let's get the fucking edge of the galaxy, and hopefully we live out the rest of our lives before he's done. And then Groot's like, we gotta save him. Which is like, why? It's like, they're the only family we've ever had.
Friends
we've ever had. It's just like, ugh.
I know they're the only friends we've ever had, but what are we supposed to do?
There's only two of us. And it, like, Drax is like, 3.
And why should we, like, trust you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they come to an agreement to go save Quill and Gamora.
Right, exactly. And then you have Ronan and all that discovery going on. Like he tells Thanos to go fuck himself, basically.
Yeah.
Which, bad move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like if Ronan would have lived through this movie,
he would have been. You know what? Destroying him the way they did was actually a kindness in comparison to what Thanos would have done to him.
You saw what Thanos did to Hulk at the beginning of Infinity War.
Oh yeah, but we're not there yet, so let's not get into too much depth.
Oh, dude, the Infinity War podcast is gonna be like a 5-hour podcast.
Hour 5, Thanos, the Thanoning. Where we just talk about him and his life.
That'd be a good show.
That would be.
But no, so you have this, and then you have this moment where, like, Quill's trying to make a deal, like, look, we got this Infinity Stone, da-da-da-da-da-da, like, if we get the stone, you can sell it to whoever you want. It's like, how the fuck we can get the stone? Ronan has it, da-da-da. And then he, like, uses Gamora's knowledge as, like, she knows everything about him. She has a plan, break on through. And they're like, I knew you were on my side, boy.
Yeah. But he very much goes, if this goes south, I'm killing you.
Yeah, exactly. Like any good father.
Yeah. But he needs to seem firm and tough, like he's going to actually punish Quill after all the things that Quill has done. Because he can't have his crew turning on him, thinking that, like, oh, well, any crewmate can, like, just get away with anything.
Exactly.
And that's why I get back to the fact that if he was just more adamant about him being, like, his, like, freaking, like, father, they'd be like, okay, well, I think you're too easy on the boy, but still, like, it's your kid.
Once again, after Guardians 2, I disagree. But, well, like I said, that is a whole movie. That is a whole movie of nothing but character. We'll get to it.
And we will get to it, and we will discuss this.
So and then Rocket comes to their rescue, in quotes.
When they don't need it. And Drax is just like, yes, I rescued everyone!
And all like that, just like, how'd you rescue me? By blowing up the ship I was in. I'm sorry we didn't work out the minutia of the plan. Yeah. And they do the plan scene, and they're setting it up to cherry bomb, and they're all getting in the Ravager suits.
Yeah. No, I just like the fact that they come together in that scene, the sentimentality right before, like the epicness.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's what I mean, though. They have moments of seriousness followed by epicness, so that way it doesn't make you feel too much.
And then also, like, really good humor moments where they have this argument, just like, we have sort of a plan. And then they, like, go over briefly, just like, it's just like, all right, who's with me? And he stands up and just like, I'm with him, just like, it's like, fine! And they all stand up just like, here we are, 5 jackasses standing in a circle. Yeah, like, that was a good bit. And then they do the cherry bomb setup to where they're listening to Cherry Bomb and the Ravengers.
Cherry Bomb!
And then the Ravengers and and Quill, everyone's suiting up, they're all getting in Ravenger garb. And they call the Nova Corps to warn them, which their message was funny. It's just like I'm kind of
kind of an a-hole,
but I'm not completely an a-hole. It's just like,
no, I'm not completely a dick.
It's just like, what's your opinion? It's like, well, I don't think anyone is completely a dick, ma'am.
100% a
dick. 100% dick. I was like, I mean about the message. So you have this big battle where it's like the Ravengers versus Ronan. They're trying to get in. They're losing, but suddenly the Nova Corps comes in, and it's this big set-piece battle, and it's going on, and it's just like, it's visually impressive. That's actually one thing in this whole movie I haven't addressed much. You've talked about a little bit, is this entire movie, from its first beat to its last beat, is visually impressive and unbelievably well shot.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was just talking about the scenery in general, but no, the action sequences are very well, like, played too. It's like an orchestra, it's like an orchestral ballet, and it's just going off at all times, full throttle.
So I feel like the lead into them being in the ship is a little too long. Like that's like, and it's a very minor complaint. But it's like, okay, come on, let's get them in Ronan's ship already, please.
I feel like it was like well paced because of the fact that it was supposed to be a very difficult endeavor and it posed true.
Fair enough. And then you get inside Ronan's ship, and you get a little bit of what everyone's good at. You get a little bit of Drax being a fucking animal. You get Groot, like, you get fucking Gamora doing their hand to hand with Nebula. You get to see Peter just shooting dudes left and right. It's just like,
and like propelling himself and using everything about him, all of his surroundings, as an advantage to this like fight.
And then also like when he runs into that like Kree leader, he's just like, Star-Lord. He's like, yes,
yeah,
he's so happy.
Oh my goodness.
And then you have Groot, where he just like, all those dudes come out and they're like, oh shit, and then Groot impales an entire line of them and just,
yeah, and he kills the two other lines of people.
You know,
been so mad that you hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
I am Groot.
That's a yes.
And then you have you go in and Gamora wins the fight against Nebula, and we're like, hey man, you can help us take down Ronan, take down our dad, and she's like, no, hacks off her arm, goes steals a ship.
Like immediately, like she waits until a ship is coming by, hacks off her arm, automatically beats the shit out of whoever's in it, and takes over the ship.
Exactly, and then Yondu got shot down. He's surrounded by them, and he's just like, no, and he just whistles.
And we get this amazing whistle scene, and both whistle scenes that he has in this series are just freaking amazing.
The second one's way better.
The second one is way better, but he's filled with way more anger.
But this one is just on point as can be. And not only that, you get a little bit more of his characterization, his love of troll dolls.
Yes.
You see all those little trolls on the cockpit there. And you have this, so you get a little bit of like everyone gets a moment during this lead up to the Ronin confrontation.
And like you don't really expect much from Yondu because you just think that he's this like captain, this pushover dude that like cares for Quill, not really though. And then like he comes in going like, I believe in you, boy, don't let me down, and then turns around and kills an entire freaking like fleet, and it's just like, oh god, you just came into this thing like an underdog, blowing up the whole place. Oh my god.
Just also the fact that like him controlling it with the whistle.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Like with them giant jagged toofs.
Yeah, and then like he blows up an entire ship with the whistle.
Yes.
Oh, that was beautiful. Then they get to Ronan. And they do the big. They do the confrontation where they shoot it with the mini nuke. Basically, it does nothing, but the ship crashes, and they're all like recovering, and like Ronan's giving his bad guy speech, and like calls him,
sweetheart, you're missing something.
What am I missing?
Groot.
Oh, right. Oh,
Groot.
The ship crashes. They live because of Groot.
Because Groot encases them with his body, sacrificing himself, saying, "We are Groot."
Yeah, they encase so they're like, we're going down. Everyone on this ship is gonna die. Hopefully, he dies with us. In Ronan, and it's like Groot's like, no, builds a cage of tree all around them. And you get to see the little healing light inside it, and just like he's building more and more to make sure him as safe as possible. And it's just like, and they hit. Well, first off, Rocket's like, no, you can't do this, you'll die.
No, he's screaming it.
Yeah,
he is yelling it. He's just like, no, don't do, he's yelling it. He is desperate to get his friend and not kill himself because it's his only family.
Yeah, and then, of course, that line, we are Groot.
Yeah.
And, the crash happens. And they
Rocket is automatically devising something to kick Ronan's ass because of the revenge he's feeling.
Yeah, and then he's like trying to find the rest of the gun. He like grabs Drax and like, come here. And then Quill's like, he just goes to Quill. He's like, stall, and it's just
he doesn't even say it. Like Quill looks over and sees that Rocket is doing something, so he just pops up in front of Ronan and starts dancing.
It's like, dance off, me and you.
Dance battle, let's go, me and you, right now. And like Ronan's just like, what's happening?
What? You never seen Footloose? And then he like goes over to Gamora and says like, Gamora, come on. And he reaches out and she just looks at him like his face is like, all right, settle, take it back. And it's just like, what are you doing?
And he's doing the fucking like Running Man, going distracting you. Or stalling you.
Or no, distracting you. And then some insult, I forget what it was. And then distracting you, and insult, and then you see Drax and Rocket fire the mini nuke again. It breaks the hammer. Quill reaches out, grabs the Infinity Stone,
and it's this slow motion scene between the two. They're both reaching for it. He grabs it, and it's just this huge explosion. And he lasts. And it's weird that he lasts so long.
He's lasting so long, and then but someone has to help him. So he grabs Gamora, and she's...
No, Gamora grabs him.
Gamora grabs him, and she's freaking out too. And then
Drax grabs Gamora.
Gamora, and then Rocket
grabs
Drax, and they're at this point they're handling the power, even though they're like an immense...
Oh yeah, all of them have cracks up and down their bodies, trying to contain this immense power.
And you Star-Lord flashbacks to his mom,
It flashbacks to his mom, and that's why he reaches out to Gamora. Because he goes back on his mom going like, I just want give me your hand, Peter. Like right before she dies, and he refuses, and this time he turns around and grabs her hand. And it's Gamora reaching to him and grabs his hand, so it works. It full turnaround. Even though it was such a small scene, it had a huge impact.
Right, and then it does loop back to the beginning of the movie, which that's kind of nice, and it loops back to Peter's growth as a person.
Yes.
Which is nice, and then
and it shows everybody's growth because everybody's grown so close together, even though they were all loners, all people that were out for themselves.
Yeah, and then you have that moment, it's like, what are you? It's like, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy, and just opens his hand and melts Ronan.
Yeah.
And then and
oh no! In all reality, Ronan gave them their name.
Yeah.
Look at this, you're Guardians of the Galaxy, all high and mighty, and now he's exploded.
Yeah, and then he gets melted and blown up, and then cut to the rest of the end of the movie. You get baby Groot and standing still, who's a new Groot. Confirmed.
And you kind of get an insight of how much Yondu cares for Quill, because he clearly didn't get the stone. He got a troll doll instead, and he was happy. He was fine with the outcome.
And then Nova Corps gets to protect the Infinity Stone.
And they also exonerate all crimes pretty much across the galaxy for these heroes.
Yeah, and they're like, what if we commit any new crimes? Just what if I really want it?
But what if somebody annoys me and I kill them, and I end them, that's murder.
That's one of the worst crimes you can commit.
Don't do that. And Quill's just I'll watch over them.
Yeah. So and then you have your end credit scene with Howard the Duck.
Yes.
Yep.
I didn't like the way they did Howard the Duck then. I liked it more when they had him show up again.
Yeah.
Because they had his animation down more, because he was thrown in.
Right, but it was still a funny little...
It was funny, yeah, but it was just kind of they didn't know what the hell to do with him.
Yeah.
Or not him itself. The joke was there, it landed, it was good. But,
he collected Howard the fucking Duck.
He collected Howard the Duck. Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
So, great movie, visuals, pacing, music, every part of this movie fucking sings. This is my 100th time watching it, and it still just warms my heart.
Stanley was in the beginning, right?
Yeah, Stanley has a very 3 out of 5 cameo. It's not bad, but it's very just.
It's very forgettable though.
It's very much just like Rocket looks at him. Look at this old guy. Hit on someone your own age or whatever. And just he's hitting on someone more attractive.
Stanley is doing good for himself. You don't mess with our baby.
So, and then that's it. Like, it's very, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5.
It's 2 out of 5 for me. It's
yeah, just because it's so forgettable.
Like, I was thinking this entire time that we were talking, where the hell is Stanley in this movie?
I honestly, was trying, before we watched, I'm like, what was the Stan Lee cameo in this one?
Yeah, so if it's so forgettable, then it's a 2 out of 5.
Yeah,
which
I'll
is really sad. It almost makes me want to bump my score down by a point.
I don't think that is...
Okay, maybe if Stanley wasn't dead, I wouldn't feel this way. But he is. So I won't let that really control my answer for this movie, which, Bronson, drum roll.
Easiest 5 out of 5 for me.
Yep, it is the easiest 5 out of 5. We had, 0 things... to say that were bad.
Captain America, I had some things where I debated. Iron Man 3, I had some things where I debated.
Feel free to discuss in the comments.
This was one where I was absolutely 100%. The entire time I enjoyed it. I thought I had 2 complaints, and they were I felt the climax dragged a little bit. Not in an egregious way, but I was like, this could have been tightened up a little bit. And then of course the Stan Lee cameo. Everything else was perfect. This is the best Marvel movie we watched so far. If Brandon was here, he would probably agree. This is a masterclass in writing, masterclass in dialogue, masterclass in music selection. Every discipline of film for this genre of film, it's a fucking masterwork of.
It's definitely a movie that hits a lot of points.
Yeah, obviously
it's for everyone in my opinion.
Yeah, this is a movie my mother does not like science fiction. She does not care for superheroes. I have had her watch every Marvel movie with me, and she has liked 2.
Which ones are those?
This one.
Okay.
And Doctor Strange.
Oh, there we go. We gotta get to Doctor Strange.
And she likes Doctor Strange admittedly because she's a hippie.
I gotta show my mom these movies, but she's very against watching anything fantasy. She too much fantasy.
So that's a good part about my aunt, is my aunt loves fantasy.
Yeah.
So if I get my aunt to watch it, my mother has to watch it.
I mean, maybe my mom will watch it. She does love... But the only reason why she watched Galaxy Quest was because Tim Allen and Sigourney Weaver were in it.
Well, like I said, my mom will watch whatever my aunt watches.
Yeah.
So if I convince my aunt is it's baller, then that's how I got my mom to watch Doctor Strange.
That's awesome. And then she liked the movie.
Yeah. Though to be fair, I knew Doctor Strange would be up my mom's alley because that is a movie where if you were a 1970s hippie, you would be down with that movie really hard.
Nice.
And it's true. But
overall, I really enjoyed this movie. This is the first movie, this got me more than Iron Man, and Iron Man got me into looking up Marvel stuff and everything. Because like I said, I grew up more on the DC side, and Marvel has become my absolute favorite. I mean, X-Men started me on that path, but I wasn't interested in all of that universe.
I actually never gave a shit about the X-Men.
Seriously? The X-Men are so awesome. Anyway, that's not the discussion.
But anyway, go on. Yes.
But yeah, no, this movie definitely wowed me. Wowed me harder than X-Men, X-Men Origins Wolverine. It wowed me more than Iron Man. And it just refueled my love for the entire franchise.
So in my case, it was I always enjoyed the Marvel movies, but I was always more of a DC kid. I grew up reading more DC comics. I can tell you every mainline Batman and Superman line story. The only comic I could have done before this movie for Marvel for that was Spider-Man. And most of Spider-Man's comic stories for his main line prior to 2012 are shit. The Clone Saga is shit. Most things related to it, after and before, are shit.
Well, shit.
And so like watching this movie gave me a new appreciation for Marvel and that's when I really started to dig into the other parts of them because I enjoyed Iron Man, I enjoyed all the other Marvel films, but this was the first one I walked out of where my mind was like, holy fuck, this was incredible. Like Marvel for me prior to this was like, yeah, those movies are fine. And man, I really love Spider-Man, and Marvel vs. Capcom is a great-ass video game. And that's it. So, yeah, easiest 5 for both of us. We both loved it. Be back next week for Age of Ultron. And then next week you're getting another 2 this week you're getting Age of Ultron as well. Then next week you're getting another 2 for Ant-Man and Captain Marvel. Also with Ant-Man we get to wrap up Phase 2 of the MCU. And we rate all the movie. And we'll give you the full breakdown of what are each of our best Phase 2 movies. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's probably gonna be this.
Right.
And then the worst Phase 2 movie, which we can't already know what it is, but still.
Oh, it's because anything on Earth is so limited, and Guardians of the Galaxy literally get to explore the galaxy.
Well, I don't think it's just that because like
it is that for me.
For me,
like it's not for me, buddy.
For me, it's just more the fact that like there are the cases of movies where they're more than the sum of their parts, or they are what they are. This is somehow both, and it's just like literally, if I were to take this movie into a film school and dissect it, there's almost nothing you could take apart and complain about. But on top of that, while having all this technical merit from a writing and directing and all these other disciplines, it also has a ton of heart. And like there's no other way to describe it other than that, and it's a masterclass. Anyway, that'll be it. Follow the Gamer Access on Twitter at the Gamer Access. And we'll see you in like a day with Age of Ultron. Bye y'all.
Bye.